KHKT News Today. Special Counsel Robert Mueller, the Democrats' pick for leading the witch hunt investigation against President Trump, is anything but virtuous. The former FBI director has a sordid past, which if looked at objectively would make any sane person question why he is in charge of anything. While Robert Mueller was the director of the FBI, he worked with various Islamic organizations to rid FBI training materials of all anti-terrorist verbiage deemed offensive by these Islamic organizations. The meeting that Robert Mueller had with these Islamic organizations was held in secret and was only revealed after Judicial Watch sued for FBI records they believed revealed this meeting took place. While meeting with organizations such as the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, and the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, Robert Mueller gave in to every demand these terrorist-connected organizations had when it came to removing essential training materials which referenced terrorists and their radical Islamic beliefs. CAIR and ISNA were both named as unindicted co-conspirators in the 2007 Holy Land Foundation terrorism financing case. Both organizations have proven ties to various terrorist organizations such as Al-Qaeda and Hamas. Despite this, former FBI Director and now Special Counsel Robert Mueller thought it was appropriate to appease these terrorist organizations. Judicial Watch reported on this back in May of 2017. The records obtained as part of Judicial Watch's lawsuit show that Mueller, who served 12 years as FBI chief, met with the Islamist organizations on February 8, 2012 to hear their demands. Shortly later the director assured the Muslim groups that he had ordered the removal of presentations and curricula on Islam from FBI offices nationwide. The purge was part of a broader Islamist operation designed to influence the opinions and actions of persons, institutions, governments and the public at large. The records obtained by Judicial Watch also show similar incidents of Islamic influence operations at the Departments of Justice and State, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Obama White House. The motive Robert Mueller gave for his placating to terrorist organizations was that some of the material was highly offensive and incorrectly described the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. However, at one point in time, Robert Mueller himself asserted that the Muslim Brotherhood did, in fact, support terrorism and conspired with organizations intent on killing Americans and anyone they deemed to be an infidel. Material which was deemed to be offensive to these terrorists included an article claiming Al-Qaeda is clearly linked to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, the Quran is not the teachings of the Prophet, but the revealed Word of God, sweeping generality of those who fit the terrorist profile best, for the present at least, are young male immigrants of Middle Eastern appearance, conflating Islamic militancy with terrorism. The list goes on and on. The removal of this material also affected various local police departments as they use FBI training materials to train their officers to combat terrorists. Compounding this issue, CAIR, for example, was allowed to dictate to local police departments what terrorist training material was offensive. They got away with this nonsense because they had the blessing of the FBI and its director Robert Mueller. Thus a very dangerous situation was created where the fox was allowed into the henhouse and had free rein to dictate FBI training material policy when it came to fighting terrorists. Special Counsel Robert Mueller has a not-so-clean past, and Americans should be calling on their elected representatives to have him removed as special counsel into possible Russian interference with the 2016 presidential election. During his time as FBI director, he was even involved in a scheme to deliver samples of uranium to the Russians. This is the same Russians he is now supposed to be investigating. This is a blatant conflict of interest which many in Washington, D.C., and the mainstream media have ignored. Robert Mueller delivering uranium samples has many people theorizing that this was really done at the behest of Hillary Clinton. Though not proven, it is a strong possibility considering all the other circumstantial evidence connecting the Democrats to the Russians. Robert Mueller's collusion with terrorist organizations should be no surprise to anyone. Despite all the conflicts of interest Robert Mueller brings to the table, President Trump and his administration continue to cooperate with the investigation.